Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be another flashback. It's going to be the February flashback to some reading that I'm doing in February. Today is Valentine's Day, February 14th, and I have some reading plans for this weekend. I wanted to get started on my Alice Oseman collection. I recently picked up these two. I absolutely love them. I love these like UK covers, I believe. And then a while back I picked up Solitaire from Book Outlet, I believe. So this is the first book that I plan to read because I'm going to read them in publication order of the books that I have. And it says, "This is not a love story." And it says, "My name is Tori Spring. I like to sleep and I like to blog. Last year I had friends. Things were very different, I guess, but that's all over now. Now there's Solitaire and Michael Holden. I don't know what Solitaire are trying to do, and I don't care about Michael Holden. I really don't." This was her debut novel, so I want to go ahead and read this one first. And then next up, I will try Radio Silence, which is the next book that was released. And then I Was Born for This. So each of them has a very different storyline. I've heard tons about Radio Silence. Like, I know it's some people's favorite book of all time. But Solitaire, I'm not too sure what it's about, other than the main character is Tori Spring and the Solitaire and Michael Holden. That's all I really know. Radio Silence is Frances is a study machine with one goal. Nothing will stand in her way, not friends, not a guilty secret, not even the person she is on the inside. And then she meets Alid, and for the first time she's unafraid to be herself. So when the fragile trust between them is broken, Frances is caught between who she was and who she longs to be. Now she knows that she has to confront her past, to confess why Carrie's disappeared. Frances is going to need every bit of courage she has. So engaging with themes of identity, diversity, and the freedom to choose. And I'm just really, really excited about this one. So yeah, because I know it was like a lot of people's favorite book of all time. And then the third one that I would read if I finished both of those, which I highly doubt, is going to be I Was Born for This. I think this one came out in 2018. Yeah, this one came out in 2018. For Angel, life is about one thing, the Ark, a pop rock trio of teenage boys taking the world by storm. Being a part of the Ark's fandom has given her everything she loves, her friend Juliet, her dreams, her place in the world. Jimmy owes everything to the Ark. He's their frontman, and playing in a band with his mates is all he's ever dreamed of doing. But dreams don't always turn out the way you think, and when Jimmy and Angel are unexpectedly thrust together, they find out how strange and surprising facing up to reality can be. So I actually like the premise of this one like better than the other ones, but I haven't heard a lot of people talk about this one, unfortunately. So my plan is still to read them in publication order. I have went ahead and I've read a chapter of Solitaire. It's basically our main character is at school and she finds these post-it notes that lead her to this empty classroom, and she finds a web site address to go to, and that's all so far. So anyway, these are my reading plans. We'll see what I actually get done. I'm going to be vlogging today, Friday evening, and Saturday, Sunday, and Monday as well. So I'll have basically a 3-day weekend, and I'll try to get as much reading done as possible, and I will update you as I move along in these books. Hi friends, I'm here with a quick update. It's Friday night. I read about 41 pages, and then I took a little bit of a nap, and then I was working on my bullet journal. I'm gonna go ahead and jump back in and read a little bit more, and then it'll probably be dinner time, watch our shows, and then I'm hoping to read a big chunk tonight before bed. We shall see. I just wanted to let you know I have went ahead, cracked in, and I went ahead and highlighted like a bunch here where it's talking about Charlie and Nick and stuff like that, because in this book Charlie and Nick are together like a couple, and it's just so great. Good morning, friends. It's Saturday morning. I'm drinking my coffee out of my new Valentine's mug that one of my students gave. It's like purple on the inside also. So yeah, I'm having my morning coffee in this, and it's 27 degrees outside. So I doubt I'm gonna be leaving the house unless it warms up significantly. And my reading update, I read to page 128 last night, so I read 127 pages. I do have a few more tabs here. So far, oh, and I actually need to highlight and tab a couple of other things. So far, I don't really get it. I do like that I bump into Charlie every once in a while because it's obviously Tori's brother. But as far as the main storyline, the main character, Tori, just seems like the most pessimistic, the most uninspired, the most boring character I've ever read about. And it's just like everybody around her knows it. Her best friends know it. Like her circle of friends knows it. People from her past know it. Like, I just don't get it. Like, she's just always like never wants to hang out, never wants to talk to people. She's just going through the motions, and I'm not sure why yet. Yeah, it's quite interesting. There's a lot of sexual orientation talk in here. There's also a trigger warning for cutting. There's also a trigger warning for eating disorders. Definitely like look up trigger warnings for this before you go in, but the overall story so far, I just don't get it. It's like this website, and I guess like someone's behind it and they're trying to find out who's behind it, but Tori is being kind of like drawn in, but she's like being lackadaisical about it. So I just don't understand. And there's kind of like two guys going on. There's like one that she was best friends with in primary school, and she's not anymore, or he just came to her school where she is now, and she doesn't seem too interested to rekindle that friendship. And then there's this other guy, the Michael Holden, who is trying to be friends with her, but like she doesn't want to be friends with him for some reason. I guess because her brother and Nick told her to steer clear, but like as far as I can see, like I don't know, he's only done nice things to her. So the overall story, I just don't know what I'm reading yet, and I'm like more than 25% done with the book, so we'll see where it goes. Hopefully I'll finish this one today and be able to move on, but yeah. So far, I'd be like 2 out of 5 stars. I don't know, maybe 3 out of 5 stars if I'm being generous. Hi friends, I'm coming to you with a post-nap reading update. Yes, I took a nap. I was just so tired for some reason. I slept from about 12 until 2:35, so quite a long nap. But I have managed to read like 60, I think it's 67%. I'm currently on page 264, so I'll definitely finish this tonight if I just like focus for the rest of the day. We haven't been doing pretty much anything except for like hanging out in the house. We did a couple of online things like pay bills, call our cable company, set up our new like cable internet phone situation. I got some pizza rolls in the oven, and my husband's been replaying Zelda Breath of the Wild. But other than that, it's too freaking cold to go outside. It's below 40 degrees. I don't know exactly what the temperature is, but last I checked, it was 35. So I've just been reading, and then I took that long nap. So it did pick up quite a bit after I talked to you from this morning, saying like nothing was really happening. Nothing is still really happening, but I feel like the friendships and relationships, just the interaction between the characters is getting more. We still don't know who or what Solitaire is. There's been a lot more mentions of Charlie and his eating disorder, of anorexia, and kind of how he like categorizes food, and the organization that he does. So if that's triggering, it's in here several times. Also the mention of like cutting. is in here several different times, referencing movies that feature it, and just like using it as like a, oh flippant, oh my gosh, like if this happens one more time, I'm just gonna, you know. So definitely steer clear of this book if like those things trigger you, because it mentions them several times throughout. Yeah, I don't even know what I want to happen. I think I'm just along for the ride. Hey friends, I am here with an update. It is 4:53 p.m. and I did manage to finish Solitaire by Alice Oseman, which was her debut novel. I think she was 18 like when she went to go publish this book. So she wrote it when she was really young, and I can definitely tell because there's a lot of like pop culture references in it. Also, it definitely feels like early YA literature to me. I forget when this one was published. Let me check on that. This one was 2014, so 6 years ago. But I don't know, it just feels like there were so many pop culture references. The parents were in the story, but they were completely oblivious to like everything that was going on, or they just didn't seem to care. I remember at one point the main character Tori was trying to talk to her mom about like ironing her skirt, and her mom just screamed at her like, I don't care, like she was involved with something else, but I just don't know what that thing was. I am so sick and tired of parents being absent in their children's lives, because it seems like that's a very big trope in YA stories if parents are included in the story, that they're just like these, you know, outlying characters that don't really care and don't come to their rescue and don't make their kids like make sure that they're safe and happy and at home when they should be and taken care of. And it just like bothers me. But also there were so many pop culture references in here. One of the characters in here really likes books, another one really likes movies, and so those are really thrown in here quite a bit, like direct quotes and little scenes and stuff like that shared throughout. Overall, the plot was just kind of like, I don't know, it was just kind of like useless. Like it could have been any plot with these characters and it would almost be the same story. So depression is a big thing in here, and I don't think that it was handled in the best light. I think it was like realistic, the depression of the main character, but I just don't think it was handled very well. And I don't think the I'm gonna be better because you're in my life, like you're helping me type thing. Also Tumblr was like, sorry, the light, it's like, it's my phone. So the whole Tumblr thing, like the blog thing, was a big part, and it just felt like it was a sad Tumblr post book. I did tab a lot of things. Most of these are like mentions of cutting or just funny little things. But yeah, our main character was just like really pessimistic, chronically depressed, but never reached out to anybody, even though people were trying to reach out to her. And I don't know, it was just kind of hard to read. I'm rating it 3 out of 5 stars just because there were parts that were enjoyable. Probably more of like 2.5 stars, but I'm gonna round up to 3 on Goodreads, just, you know, because it wasn't like awful, but it kind of was. I don't know. It did mention Garden State, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. It had this whole passage. Maybe that's why I'm rounding it up to 3 stars. This entire passage right here is about Garden State, and it said, last night I watched a film called Garden State, not all of it but most of it. It really surprised me that I hadn't seen it before, because I thought it was absolutely excellent in every possible way, and I mean that. I gave it a spot in my top films list. It's about this guy, and it tells you a little bit of what it's about, and she's like, you know, maybe I didn't like it. So it is a great movie. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I actually have the soundtrack on CD, and I have since the movie released. I'm just like obsessed with that movie and the soundtrack. And Zach Braff wrote, directed, acted, and compiled the soundtrack. And like, I love it so much. So if you want to know more about me, if you haven't watched Garden State, I highly recommend it. But it does have that manic pixie dream girl trope heavily woven into the story. But yeah, oh, and then it mentioned it again in this little after section. It had like a little quote from the movie. But overall, you definitely guess as it progresses. I easily assumed who or what Solitaire was and why, and I was right, even though I wasn't like trying to figure it out. So yeah, just 3 stars, really 2.5. So 2.5 to 3 stars. I'm gonna start this tonight, probably not right away, but I'll start it tonight, and I will read as much of this as I can and update you as I go along. Hello party people, I'm here with an update. I've done a crap load of reading today. I finished Solitaire. I'm reading Radio Silence. I'm currently on page 88, but I don't know how much more reading I'll actually get done tonight because my husband is just out for a quick smoke break. My dog's outside, and then he's gonna come in and we're gonna finish the last 2 episodes of Lock and Key. And I need to highlight a couple of things. I usually like dog ear the page and then I go back. I think that's all, yeah. Okay, so caught up on highlighting and post-its. I thought this pink color would look really pretty against the teal color of the book. So I'm using a pink highlighter now and the pink, you know, tabs. Anyway, okay, so what do I think so far? 4 pages in, I realized that these characters are in the same universe as the characters from Solitaire. So I guess that it's kind of cool that I am reading them in publication order, but it almost makes me want to like look up the books and make sure I don't skip any, because maybe more of them are in the same universe. On the back of this, on the synopsis, it says, engaging with themes of identity, diversity, and the freedom to choose. Radio Silence is a tour de force by the most exciting writer of her generation. Interesting. Very English writer, and definitely words and phrases come up that I'm not really sure what they mean, and words are spelled differently than I'm used to. That was also in Solitaire, but I just did not mention it till now. So this one we follow Frances as our main character, and I guess there is this YouTube podcast that she's obsessed with. She's been obsessed with it for like 2 years, and then randomly one night when she's about to give this speech in front of an auditorium full of people, because she's like a what is it? She's like the almost like a valedictorian. She's like really smart. She's like the head girl, and she's about to give a speech to the parents and stuff like that. And she gets an update on her Twitter that the creator of, what is it, Universe City, I think it's called. How do I not remember this? Yeah, Universe City. And they say, hey, I really like all of your artwork. Would you consider like working pro bono for like our podcast and doing some artwork and stuff like that? And she's freaking out. Of course she wants to, but she's like, oh, I really shouldn't. I'm really busy. And then one night her friends convince her to go to this club, and she's been drinking and other people have been drinking, and she bumps into this like person, and then they confess that they are the creator of the podcast, and then she's freaking out, and just everything kind of goes from there. But now she's told the person that she is the person that they like Twittered and emailed about the artwork, and if they didn't want her to do the artwork, she understood. One thing that was interesting on page, let's see what it is, page 85, it says something before we continue, and it just talks about, I just sort of wanted to say something before we continued, and you probably think that Aladlast and I are going to fall in love or something, since he is a boy and I am a girl. I just wanted to say we don't, that's all. And I was like, oh, I really wanted them to, but it's good that they're not, and like not everything has to be a romance story, or not like the typical boy-girl romance story. So yeah, that was kind of like the narrator reaching out to us saying like, this isn't like what you think it's gonna be. Yeah, so I'm enjoying it so far. My dog's barking outside. I'm enjoying it more than Solitaire because I feel like it's moving along like faster and things are like actually happening. So dark, so mysterious. Good morning, friends. It is Sunday morning, February 16th, and I just thought I would update you with what I've been reading. I woke up at 5 a.m. for some random reason, insomnia maybe, and I watched about an hour worth of YouTube videos that I needed to catch up on, and then I started reading. I decided, I don't know why, like I didn't hugely enjoy Solitaire. Like I said, there were a lot of things that like just didn't work out for me. But then when I went into radio silence, I realized that these characters were gonna be in the same world and the same schooling, and like the friendship groups and stuff like that like intertwine. And I love these covers better than the Solitaire cover that I have. All the ones like in this type of design I really like. So I decided to look up the cover of Solitaire in this cover, and I really like it, and I think I want to get it, but since I've already read it, it's not like a huge priority. Plus I'm on a unofficial book buying ban until the summer, even though I've already read it. So does that really count? Like, I don't know. Anyway, my point is I added it to my Amazon wish list, and then for some reason I had this like $5 Kindle credit, and I don't even have my Kindle with me. Let's go find my Kindle, because that's the whole point of this update. Okay, here it is. Okay, so as I was saying, so I had this $5 Kindle credit for some reason, and I decided to get, there are 2 novellas set in this Solitaire world or whatever. So there are Solitaire novellas. One is called This Winter, and I read that one last night. This is what the cover looks like. Let's see, is This Winter by Alice Oseman. So I read that last night. That is 0.5. It's Solitaire 0.5, so it actually comes before Solitaire. And I'm currently reading the second novella. Let's see what it's, Nick and Charlie, which is 1.5. So I guess it goes This Winter, then Solitaire, then the Nick and Charlie novella, which I'm reading right now, and then Radiohead and so forth. And I've already seen characters pop up in Nick and Charlie that I saw pop up in Radio Silence. So do I really think that This Winter was, that novella was important? No, not really. You get to see more of Tori being depressed and Charlie's eating disorder type thing, but it's all kind of clicking things together, because like I said previously to reading these books, the only thing I've read is Heartbreaker volumes 1 and 2. I guess when they got together they were 14, and Solitaire takes place when Charlie is 16, so it's been like they've been together for 2 years. Anyway, yeah, plus I also realized one of the most confusing things about Solitaire and this whole series so far is the British education system. What's that called? I don't know, just like the GSCEs, the A levels, the different forms and the years, kind of like in Harry Potter. It was confusing at first. So I had to like look that up, and I got like 2 things. Maybe this is a good time to insert them, but that kind of explain it. so I don't know. But they helped me a little bit, and I did like a little bit of research like behind that. I don't still entirely understand it. The US system just makes so much sense to me, obviously, because that's what I went through and that's what I teach in, so I don't know. But still, in these novellas and books, it talks a lot about that stuff, so I'm trying to like wrap my head around that. This is the one I am currently reading, Nick and Charlie, again in that cover. I think this one is available in paperback, but the first one is only like this winter, it's only like 44 pages, so I don't think that they thought like the cost of printing it was worth it. They should just bind up the novellas. I don't know how they would do a cover for that, but they should just bind up the novellas like they did in the Shatter Me trilogy and just have like a novellas book with all the novellas in it. Anyway, I do want to get Solitaire in the cover, like this kind of cover, and I might get Nick and Charlie if I can find it. But I'm getting oddly like drawn into this world, even though I didn't really love Solitaire. But I'm gonna finish Nick and Charlie, and then I'm gonna move on back into Radio Silence. But I'm reading these on my Kindle. I got this winter for free, and then I paid like 98 cents for Nick and Charlie because I had like that $5 credit. So currently I am 45% into Nick and Charlie, and this winter, sorry, this is kind of jumping around a lot. I don't know if this is helping you. So this winter is set at Christmas, and it's 3 different chapters. There's a Tori chapter, a Charlie chapter, and an Oliver chapter. Tori's chapter is her being depressed and being excited to finally spend time with her brother over this Christmas break. But her being annoyed with her family because it's like Christmas and they're all coming over. And then Charlie's chapter is really about his family interrogating him about his eating disorder and asking Tori and Tori like, what are your plans? And he gets frustrated and he runs off to Nick's, his boyfriend's house. And then he's over there and he's meeting Nick's family and stuff like that. And then Oliver, oh, and then Tori is worried about Charlie, so she texts him several times, and then she goes over there to like bring him back home, and then Oliver feels left out because they both left him, and he's only like 7 years old or something like that. It is of note that Tori and Charlie, even though that Tori's supposed to be like the depressed, pessimistic person, and everybody says that Charlie is like this happy, like outgoing, everybody loves him, their chapters felt very similar, like their voice of their chapters. Like you could have just switched out the names and I would not have known who was who, other than obviously Charlie went to Nick's house and like that's his boyfriend and stuff like that. But you could have just as easily like switched out characters' names and I wouldn't have known who was who. However, in Oliver's, it definitely, he had a different voice, which was good because he was like a little kid. If it would have been the same, I would have been really annoyed. So I ended up rating this winter 3 out of 5 stars, but like I said, it's only like 44 pages, so who knows. As far as Nick and Charlie though, this takes place after Solitaire. This is when I guess it's the end of the year and Nick is going off to university or about to go off to university, and Charlie's kind of getting frustrated about that because Nick's really excited about university, so he's talking about it a lot, and of course that means that Nick will be gone and Charlie will be left behind, and yeah, so that's kind of what's going on there. Hi friends, I just wanted to update you very quickly. I did finish Nick and Charlie, the novella from Solitaire. It was the 1.5 novella, so it comes after the events of Solitaire. I did like it. I thought it was very relatable. In this one, we're following Nick and Charlie, obviously, as Charlie is moving away from school and moving on to university, and Charlie is very nervous about that. He keeps getting like anonymous messages on his blog, like people move on when they move to uni and stuff like that, and he's getting really nervous about it. And he gets drunk one night and he kind of like lashes out at Nick, and Nick doesn't know what's going on. So these people are like, are we breaking up, are we not? And it's such a cute love story. I love it so much, but it's like so relatable, because like when you're dating someone and you go off to university, like you are kind of wondering, especially if you're going to different universities or someone's going to university and the other person's staying behind, like what's this long distance relationship gonna look like? And yeah, so I thought it was very relatable, really cute. I rated it 4 out of 5 stars. So far it's like my favorite, and I think again because of Nick and Charlie. So it is a male romance novella. Now I'm gonna jump back into radio silence, but I am ready for the day. I'm gonna go to IKEA today and try to pick up some pots for some plants that I need to do, and maybe a chest of drawers for my husband, and I think that's all. We'll see. But yeah, I'm gonna read this, and then when we get ready to go, then I'll do that and I'll update you guys later. Hi friends, I am back from IKEA. It is currently 12:57, and before I left I read up until page 126, so that's pretty cool. I have a little bit of gardening to do. I'll show you some pots and stuff, and ignore this messy room, by the way. And then after that I'll probably read some more, or at least that's the plan. These little cactus guys, they're 3 little cactuses. This one has a little flower growing on them, but these I thought could fill in the empty space. Walking again to my office. Oh my gosh, I just noticed that this is like long, and that's got like, okay. Anyway, I'm gonna fill this thing in. Let me put this down. So basically I had a dead succulent there and a dead succulent there. So I kind of need to fill it in, but I think I could do like 2 and then 1 to kind of like round out this little planter that I have. Here, this little Chinese coin plant. It's in a very small pot and it's getting kind of big. So I got it a new pot. This terracotta pot for the coin plant, and it also comes with the tray. So this is going to be for the coin plant. I'm going to use the planter for the coin plant for this little guy that my student gave me on Valentine's Day, because the roots are already coming out of it. This will be for the Chinese coin plant, and then this and this. These are little plants that I got from my students. I got a little parade roses. Oh, I already ripped something off of it, but parade roses. Look at how orange that one is and how red that one is. Isn't that interesting? Anyway, I'm gonna put this one in here, and these you just drill in these little divots. So I've used these before and I really like them. So yeah, I'm gonna put this one in here, and then I have this one over here that is quite a bit bigger. I guess I'm not going to be working on planting anything, so I can get into my comfortable clothes and start reading. And I'm going to try my licorice that I got. Yeah, it's just time to relax for the rest of the day. Rebraid my hair because it's like falling out over here. Yeah, but I had fun at IKEA. We had a little bit of breakfast. Well, we did like the top floor, which is like the showroom, and then we went to the cafe part and we had a little breakfast, and then we shopped the downstairs part and checked out, and then we went to the little food market place and got it picked up, like some veggie meatballs, some regular meatballs, some potato pancakes, some cookies, that licorice, things like that. And then we each got a cinnamon roll. and then we headed out. So it was a fun afternoon, a good break for both of us because it was so cold yesterday. I think it's 43 degrees outside today. So it's just been like so cold that you just like don't even want to go outside at all. And like, I feel like we've just been like watching TV, Netflix, and playing video games and reading a lot, which is great because we love doing those things. But it's nice to get out and about too. So that little trip to IKEA was nice. Hopefully tomorrow will be a little bit warmer and we can get out. And I know we have to do like some grocery shopping. We're going to go to Lowe's and get some soil and stuff like that. So we'll see what the day holds. But I just wanted to say I'm on page 126 and I'm finally getting down. After I change, I'm going to sit down and read some more. Okay friends, I'm here with my final reading update of the night. It's 9 o'clock and a few minutes ago I finished reading Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. This is the second book I've read, but I've also read 2 novellas by her. I liked this one more than I liked Solitaire, but I still am rating this story 3 out of 5 stars. I think if I would have read this when I was like 18 to 22, I would have absolutely loved it. But I did write a little review on Goodreads. I said that I still think it wasn't as good as I was hoping. I enjoyed the characters more. I liked that the parents were not absent. I liked that it explored the stress, pressure, and expectations students have to deal with on a daily basis, like as far as like school and thinking about university and like what to do after like normal school. I like that there was a friendship between a girl and a guy, and it was just like a friendship. It didn't get romantic at all. I like that it seemed mainstream. It talked about Tumblr and YouTube and podcasts. There were also lots of references to fashion and music and bands. But I think I rated it on the lower side of things because the pacing was off, the dialogue was difficult to read, and I just didn't feel that the emotion was there as much as it needed to be. Also, there was diversity in here, but it felt like it wasn't really a part of the plot, as far as like people of color and different ethnicities. I think that like there was that, but like it didn't really matter. These characters read just as white as anybody else, and the sexuality and stuff like that, I just felt like it could have been explored more and been more important to the story for sure. Overall, I liked it. I like how the books are kind of connecting and we're getting crossover and characters like know each other and there's like mentions of them and stuff like that. So I hope that's the case with the next book that I'm going to be picking up, and that was I Was Born for This, which is currently her last published work other than the Heartstopper volume that just came out at the beginning of the month, which I'm not going to buy until this summer, and then Loveless, which comes out later in the year. Good morning friends, it's the last day of this vlog, this flashback vlog of February. I've really enjoyed like doing this and reading Alice Oseman's books. I'm currently reading I Was Born for This, and I am currently on page 40, so I didn't really read too much last night, but I would say so far this is my least favorite in those 40 pages. So I don't know, but I am going to continue. I'm going to finish this off. I did send an email to the publisher asking for an art copy of Loveless if and when they're available. I usually don't do that. I usually don't get accepted for ARCs because I don't have like a huge subscriber count, but it's worth the shot. And also I posted a picture of my current Alice Oseman collection on my Instagram. And I also wanted to tell you that on Alice Oseman's website, like her other website, if you go into like extra content. She has trigger warnings for every single one of her books, which I think is awesome. And I'll try to link to that down in the description box if I remember. And that's it. I'm going to try to read this today, but it is Monday, February 17th, President's Day. So I am off, but I have a lot to do because of course tomorrow I go back to work. So I'm doing laundry. We have to run to Lowe's and get some soil. We have to do grocery shopping and all of the things. So I'm going to read when I can. Yeah, I slept in today a bit as well. So anyway, I just wanted to update you guys. And your drink matches your current read. Hello friends, final checkup for this flashback February video. This weekend I managed to read almost all of Alice Oseman's books. I'm still currently reading I Was Born for This, her third novel. I have not been able to read that much today. I'm currently on page 162. I will say of all of them, this is probably the slowest to get started. That's why I haven't been able to like read that much. Plus I've just been like really busy today, which is understandable. It is Monday and I had like some replanting, repotting to do, laundry, which is still in the dryer, grocery shopping, yard work, and just general like hanging out and relaxing. I did take a long nap. In fact, I just woke up from the nap, but I wanted to close out this vlog and kind of just like wrap everything up. But before I do that, I wanted you to let me know, other than the Heartstopper volumes, like if you've read any of Alice Oseman's books, which one is your favorite? If I had to guess, like if I did a poll of everybody that's read her books, I would probably say Radio Silence is probably everybody's favorite. I would say at this point, with only reading about like 33% of this, if I had to guess, I don't know how much I am in, but I would say it's probably my favorite of the three. But I read Solitaire by Alice Oseman, her debut novel, and I rated it 3 stars. I read both novellas, This Winter and Nick and Charlie. This Winter I rated 3 stars. Nick and Charlie I rated 4 stars. Radio Silence I also rated 3 stars. And I'm going to assume that this is going to be 3 stars too. I don't want you to think that I'm deterred about reading Alice Oseman in the future. I still want to pick up Heartstopper 3, especially considering that I heard that it's going to start involving Charlie's eating disorder. So it's kind of bumping into where like Solitaire is. And not that like I'm glorifying that or anything. It's just that like the stories are finally coming together. And I just love Nick and Charlie so much. But yeah, I think these are 3 stars, kind of like how Ruth Ware. I pretty much rated all of her early books 3 stars, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh my gosh, here's one I like more. So I'm gonna still read them because I do enjoy them. I like how the characters overlap. I love like the fandom aspect of it because it's like this massive world and all of these storylines going into it, and I just think that's really cool, and I actually think about it quite a bit. So yeah, that's what I read this weekend. And I'm going to continue this, and then I'll be done with everything that's currently published other than Heartstopper Volume 3, which I will pick up this summer after my book buying ban, my unofficial book buying ban. But I did purchase both of those novellas with credit and then 98 cents. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed. If you did, give this video a thumbs up. Look forward to more flashback reading vlogs coming soon, because I'm doing these every single month, and then I'm posting them pretty back to back in December this month. So yeah, I hope you're all having a lovely day or night, and I'll see you guys again in my next video. Bye.